Welcome back to You Can Understand Shakespeare with me, John Donovan. I am helping you understand the works of William Shakespeare. Right now, we are on Romeo and Juliet, Act 3, Scene 5. Things are getting crazy as the tragedy gets closer and closer as we are wrapping up Act 3. Right? We're in Act 3, Scene 5. And look, you know the deal. There's three things that prevent us from understanding Shakespeare as we're reading him. Number one, it's supposed to be a performance. Number two, he's very poetical, very metaphorical, and poetry sometimes throws us off because that's not often how we talk. And, of course, prior knowledge. We just need someone to explain this stuff to us. We don't know as many words. After all, it is English, and theoretically, if you're listening to me, you know English, so you understand what I'm saying. So, let's get into it. Enters Romeo and Juliet aloft. They are up in her room. Could be on the balcony. Wilt thou be gone? So that lets us know that some time has passed. Romeo has come to the chamber. Where Romeo is in the chamber. This could be happening exactly while the previous scene is happening. Regardless, they've already done the marital deed. All right, now he needs to leave before the watch is set. Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Right? A nightingale sings at night, a lark sings in the morning. And so remember, he needs to leave when it's morning. So she's trying to say, no, it's not the lark, it's the nightingale that pierced the fearful hollow. It's because your ear is hollow, and it's fearful because you hearing this means that you have to leave. Nightly she sings on, this is the nightingale. Nightly she sings on yond pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale. And Romeo, he has to be honest, it was the lark, the herald, the one who announces of the morn. No nightingale. Look, love, and he's going to point. What envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east? Envious streaks, spiteful streaks, that lace the severing. They're laced there. There's light as the sun is rising, the severing, the parting clouds in yonder east where the sun rises. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountaintops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die. And Juliet's going to kind of keep this going. Yond light is not daylight. I know it. It is some meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night a torchbearer, and light thee on thy white mantua. Therefore stay yet. Thou needst not to be gone. Juliet knows that it's morning, but she just kind of come up with these things. Anything to get just one last thing before you leave. But just, no, it's not the sun. It's a meteor. And that meteor is going to guide you to Mantua. But because it's a meteor, not the sun, it's still nighttime. And you can stay a little longer. Let me be taken. Let me be taken. Let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'm happy to be caught here, if that's what you want. And that's not like that's not him putting out, hey, you know what? Fine, I'll stay if that's what you really want. They're gonna kill me. He also wants to stay, and this whole scene is them parting. But it should be with the kind of this context, and here's where the actors come in, that they don't want to part. And you have to understand that context for a lot of this to make sense. If you're reading it just directly, forgetting that there's human beings saying this stuff, that human beings have emotions, and that it's a newly married husband and wife after they just both lost their virginities, then you can understand, hey, there's subtext here. I'll say yon grey is not the morning eye, which is the sun. 'Tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. Pale reflection of Cynthia's, the moon's brow. Nor that is not the lark, whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. I care more to stay than I want to go. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is it, my soul? Let's talk. It is not day. How is it, my soul? He's talking to Juliet. How is it? If you want me to stay, I'll stay. Let's talk. It is not day. He's going to agree to her fantasy. And now Juliet has to break the fantasy and says, it is. Hence, now immediately be gone, away. It is the lark, the morning bird, that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Discords are when music is not harmonious. It sounds bad, so it's harsh discords. And unpleasing sharps. Sharps are those little, this is probably really upsetting for people who know music, but they're the little like hashtags that you see on a musical notation to let you know that you are going a half step up. So if you're looking at white keys with the black keys on the piano, you could have the C, which is the white key, and if you were C sharp, you go up a half key to the black key. And these sharps, if they're thrown into a musical key that isn't supposed to include it and doesn't account for it, it can sound unpleasant. And so it's her saying that the lark is singing out of tune. And why is she being so mean to the lark? Are larks, are morning birds, traditionally considered bad singers? It's because the lark is announced in the morning. She doesn't want the morning to be here. Some say the lark makes sweet division. There you go. Some say the lark makes sweet division, that the variations on a melody. This doth not so, for she divideth us. So she says exactly, I'm being mean to the lark, because even though everyone says the lark sings great, I'm mad at the lark. Some say the lark and loathed toad change eyes. This is a folk explanation for the supposed ugliness of the lark's eyes and the beauty of the toads. You know how toads have famously beautiful eyes and how larks have famously ugly eyes. It's obviously because they switch. That's something that, how on earth are you going to know that except for the footnote? I didn't know that until just now. All right, so some say the lark and the loathed toad change eyes. Oh, now I would they had changed voices too, since arm from arm that voice doth us affray, frighten. Hunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. The morning song is used to wake the bride after the wedding night. So hunting thee hence with hunts up. They're hunting you away from here immediately with the hunts up to the day. Or now be gone, more light, and at light it grows. More light and light, more dark and dark our woes. That's a great little rhyme there. The more light and light it gets, the more our woes are growing, darker and darker. And the nurse enters. Madam, nurse, your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about. So that lets us know that this previous scene, Act 3, Scene 4, could have been very early in the morning. It could have been just before sunrise. That is, if a Lady Capulet follows her husband's instructions to go talk to Juliet before she goes to bed. It could also just be that she didn't listen to that, she went to bed, and now early in the morning, she's coming to talk to Juliet. Your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary. Look about. And she leaves. Then, window. Let day in and let life out. So she's now talking to the window. Oftentimes in Shakespeare, they'll address inanimate objects. They're being poetical. So, window. It'd be no different than me going, microphone. Receive my words. Right? Which would also be, right? It's not actually plugged in. It's all a ruse. It's all a ruse. Microphone. You deceitful liar. Right? I'm just being poetic. All right, so let day in, because you're going to let the daylight in, but let life out. Romeo's leaving, he's my life. Great. Farewell, farewell, one kiss, and I'll descend. And then he calls out, Art thou gone so, love, lord, I, husband, friend? I must hear from thee every day in the hour, for in a minute there are so many days. The days seem so long. By this count, I shall be much in years, ere I again behold my Romeo. Every minute holds many days. Then the next time I see you again, I'm going to be so old. Ere, again, being before I again behold my Romeo. Farewell. I will omit no opportunity, leave out, no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee. Oh, thinkest thou we shall ever meet again? I doubt it not. And all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our times to come. Meaning we're going to look back one day and talk about this, and it's all going to be sweet conversation. We're going to look back and laugh on this. We say that nowadays. And, someday we're going to look back and laugh on this. So he's really changed his tune from he's going to kill himself in the earlier scenes. Oh God, I have an ill divining soul. Divining is where you tell the future. So he says, I have an ill divining soul means I am sensing I'm sensing the fortune, future, not fortune. I'm like a fortune teller, and it's ill, it's bad. I have an ill divining soul. Methinks, which means just I think, I see thee. Now thou art so low. Now that you are down below me, methinks I see thee, now thou art so low, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. So she's looking down from the balcony, see him. It's like, oh my gosh, it looks like you are at the bottom of a grave. Either my eyesight fails, or thou lookest pale. Pale like a corpse that is drained of blood, right? And is her soul ill divining? Is she actually predicting the future? Well, Romeo did earlier before he went to the party. He had a prophetic dream that said, don't go to the party. He says, I have a sense that something here is going to happen tonight. After all, we know these lovers are star-crossed, that their fate in the stars themselves are that they should be crossed, that is, endure a cross, a horrible event, right? So with that, is she divining, or is she just is her soul ill divining insofar as that she is now looking at him and it looks like something else, and it's something ill, which is him at the bottom of a tomb. Romeo says, "And trust me, love, in my eye, so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood." So, hey, and trust me, my love, looking back up at you, you also look pale. And that's because dry sorrow, which is dry, it's drinking up our blood. So we both look pale. Adieu, adieu, which is French for goodbye, and they leave. Not good that they both say, "Oh my gosh, you look like a corpse to me right now. You look like a corpse." Remember, the chorus warned us at the very beginning, they're going to die. And I might be wrong, but I actually think this is the last time they see each other face to face until they die. And again, they don't see each other face to face because one is dead when the other is asleep and then wakes up and they're dead. And spoilers, it's been out 500 years. You had time. So that's really sad. Anyways, Juliet is going to have a moment to talk to herself. "Oh, fortune, fortune, all men call thee fickle." Fortune is just how things happen. It's not like, "Oh, read my fortune." That's a modern way they think about it. Fortune is the occurrences that happen to humans. It's their destiny. All humans reside on the wheel of fortune. And that wheel is a literal wheel by literally Fortune, who is a type of goddess. Right? So Fortune is a goddess. So that's why she's addressing Fortune. And all men call thee fickle. You're changeable. You're hard to pin down. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for faith, for fidelity? So if you're known for being fickle, for changing your mind, because you do. When you're on Fortune's wheel, you're at the top, and now you're at the bottom, and you're at the top, and now you're at the bottom. Fortune is constantly changing. So what do you do for someone who's known for being faithful? "Be fickle, Fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back." So now she's actually saying, no, actually be fickle. If you constantly change fortune, destiny, occurrences in life, this which is now bad, him leaving, be fickle, change, which means bring him back. Right? And then enters Capulet's wife. And she's below, so presumably she's down looking up at the balcony. "Ho, daughter, are you up?" And she's not calling her daughter a ho. Ho just is a greeting. "Ho, daughter." It's like how we say hello. "Ho, daughter, are you up?" "Who is it that calls?" "It is my lady mother." Is she not down so late or up so early? And now she's asking herself later, is she down so late, meaning is she down in bed so late? Has she not yet gone to bed? Or is she up really early? Right? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither? And unaccustomed, meaning that this is unusual. So what unusual cause has this effect? Procures her means brings. Because if you procure something, you obtain it. So what cause has brought her here, brought her hither? So Juliet's going to go down and enter below. So you come down to the wife. "Why, how now, Juliet?" Which means, "How are you doing?" "Madam, I am not well." "Evermore weeping for your cousin's death?" They're all attributing her sorrow to Tybalt's death, not Romeo. They don't know about Romeo. "What? Wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live, therefore be done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit." This is very poetical. This is one of those ones where if you don't let it intimidate you, you can understand this. "What? Will you wash him from his grave with tears?" You might read that and go, "I have no idea what that means." Well, think about it for a second. Are you going to wash him from his grave with your tears? Well, how would you do that? How would you wash a man out of 6 feet of earth? Well, if you cry enough tears, you can wash away enough. So what, are you going to keep crying and crying and crying so much? "And if thou couldst," and if you could wash him out, which you can't, "thou couldst not make him live," you can't bring him back to life, "therefore have done." Therefore have done with this. Stop crying. "Some grief," only a little bit of grief, "shows much of love." If you grieve, it shows that you did have a lot of love. "But much of grief," so if you're grieving a lot, that is weeping enough to wash him out of his grave, "still some want of wit." Shows still some want of wit. So it shows still, meaning that you still don't have the wit that you want. And wit being intelligence. So if you have too much grieving, it's unseemly. You have to have that middle ground. "Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss. So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for. Feeling so the loss, I cannot choose but ever weep the friend." And friend can also here mean lover. So she's weeping about Romeo. And she's talking about Romeo, and her mom thinks she's talking about Tybalt. "Well, girl, thou weepest not so much for his death as that the villain lives which slaughtered him. So don't weep because he's dead. Weep because the villain who killed him is still alive. What villain, madam? That same villain, Romeo. And now she says, aside. Meaning that this is Juliet's interior thoughts that we get to hear, but her mom does not. She says, villain and he be many miles asunder. So the title villain and Romeo, they are asunder, they are sundered, they are kept apart by many miles. Romeo's not a villain. Now that dash means that she's talking back to her mother. God pardon, I do with all my heart. And mean that I cry for this reason. I cry with all my heart. And yet no man like he doth grieve my heart. That is because the traitor murderer lives. I, madam, from the reach of these my hands, would none but I might venge my cousin's death. And now she's really kind of playing it. Now, note a couple things. When Julia had this aside, she's being honest. They don't lie to us. But then she kind of lies to her mother. And this is very clever, where Juliet is saying all true things, but her mother is misunderstanding her. So, he says, yet no man like he doth grieve my heart. No man like Romeo causes me as much grief. Which is true, because she wishes he was here. But her mother thinks that he's causing her grief because he's a murderer that is still uncharged. He got away with it. That's because the traitor murderer lives. I, madam, yes, from the reach of these my hands. What really bothers me is that I don't have my hands on Romeo. And there's two ways you can interpret that. The way that Juliet means, which is what they were just doing, she had his hands on her hands on him. Or, I'm going to get my hands on you, and that's going to hurt you. And so she's letting her mother think that she wants revenge. Would none but I might venge my cousin's death. We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua where that same banished renegade doth live. Shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. And then I hope thou wilt be satisfied. So Lady Capulet knows that he's going to Mantua. He's going to where that banished renegade villain, person who's outside the law, does live. He's going to give him an unaccustomed, something he's not used to, dram. A dram is a bit of poison. And that's going to have him keep Tybalt company because it's going to kill him. And that will keep you satisfied. Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him. Dead is my poor heart. And here's a little bit of interesting wordplay. That dash dead, that means that the sentence is understood differently depending on which sentence it's with. I shall never be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead is what her mother can hear. But I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him. Dead is my poor heart. So, for a kinsman vexed, is how Juliet can mean it. So by having this pause here, it could be understood differently. She won't be satisfied till she sees Romeo. And dead is her poor heart, for the kinsman vexed. Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, which means mix it or dilute it, that Romeo should, upon receipt thereof, upon receiving that dram, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named and cannot come to him. And again, she means because she loved him so much. Lady Capulet thinks it's because she wants to find Romeo and kill him. To wreck the love I bore my cousin upon his body that hath slaughtered him. So she wants to find him so that she can unleash all the love that I bore my cousin upon his body that has slaughtered him. She wants to do the deed. It's not that she liked Tybalt in that way, but there's two ways that you can wreak love upon someone. One could be get revenge for the love that she bore Tybalt, but the other is just she wants to just unleash all of her love that she has for Romeo upon his body. Find thou the means of doing so, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl. Find thou the means, I'll find such a man. She said she'll find a man to Lady Capulet to poison him. Juliet says, no, find a man that can just make him fall asleep so that I can do with his body what I will. Which Lady Capulet can understand is maybe wreak love upon him, kill him some other means. And Juliet's not talking about like roofing Romeo. She's just having lots of double speak. But now, I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl. Now the reason why Lady Capulet came. And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they? Beseech your lady, sir. So what's the joyful news? Well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy that thou expects not, nor I looked not for. Madam, in happy time, what day is that? Mary, my child, and that Mary is not marriage, it is by Our Lady. Mary, my child, early next Thursday morn. That's not next Thursday, next week, it is the upcoming Thursday. So now in 2 days. The gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride. Now by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste. I wonder why we're being so hasty that I must wed ere he that should be my husband comes to woo. Why am I being wed before Paris comes to woo me? I pray you, tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed. Juliet's so clever. To prove the point that she won't marry Paris, she says, I'd rather marry Romeo, which is true. But the way that that's understood by Capulet, Lady Capulet, is that she is so unwilling to marry Paris that she'd rather marry an enemy that she hates. But Capulet's wife says, well, here comes your father. Tell him so yourself and see how he will take it at your hands. So Capulet and the nurse enter. Capulet, when the sun sets, the earth doth drizzle dew, but for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains downright. So when it's nighttime, the earth is covered with dew. It's a nice little drizzle. But for the sunset of my brother's son, that is his nephew Tybalt, it rains downright. So meaning it's pouring rain right now. And the sunset of my brother's son is the sun setting on his life, his death. How now? A conduit girl. A conduit means fountain. So how now means like, oh, what's happening now? What is it with you? A conduit girl, she's crying. What? Still in tears, evermore showering? And I actually need to correct myself. I said that it's raining outside. It rains downright. Talking about Juliet crying. Oh, it's raining downright. What? These tears? He said, why are you crying so much? Evermore showering, in one little body thou counterfeits a bark, a sea, a wind. So in your little body you are counterfeiting, you are being a fake version of a bark, which is a ship, a sea, a wind, because there's so much water coming from you. For still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. Your eyes are like the sea. The bark, thy body is sailing in this salt flood. So he's comparing Juliet's whole appearance to being a boat in the ocean. Your eyes are the ocean. Your body is the sea. You're sailing in this salt flood like I'm crying so much that there's tears all around me and it's filling up. And now I'm floating on my tears. He's hyperbolizing. He's exaggerating. It's a poetic device, but he's just proving the point of you are crying a lot. The winds, thy sighs, who raging with thy tears, and they with them, without a sudden calm, will overset thy tempest-tossed body. So the wind is your sighs. Ha, ha, because she's so sad. And those sighs is raging with your tears, which is the sea. And the sea and the wind, the sighs and the tears, without a sudden calm, will overset thy tempest-tossed body. You're going to sink because your body is the boat. Now he's going to turn to his wife. How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree, his order that she should marry Paris? Aye, sir, but she will none, and she does not agree. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave. And so this is just an expression. Well, she doesn't want to get married, so you know what? I wish she was married to the grave. And she's probably going to regret those words come when Juliet does die. Cap says, soft. He's a quick change. Soft, meaning wait. Take me with you. Take me with you, wife. Meaning you're in a spot that I don't understand what you just said. So take me with you to where you are. How? Will she none? She doesn't agree. Doth she not give us thanks? Is she not proud, meaning gratified? Doth she not count her blessed unworthy, as she is, that we have wrought so unworthy a gentleman to be her bride? So he's confused. She doesn't give us thanks that we got her Paris. She's not proud. She's not grateful that we got her Paris. She does not count herself blessed that we have found such a man, even though she is not worthy, that we have contrived for so worthy a gentleman to be her bride. Not to be her bride, but your bridegroom. Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful, even for hate that is meant love. So two different words. They're proud. So I'm not proud that you have done this. I'm not grateful you've done this, but I'm thankful that you have. I can never be grateful for that what I hate, but I can be thankful for hate if it meant love. So you try to do a loving thing. So I'm grateful that you have done this, but I can't be proud of it because I can't. How? He's very confused, very angry. Chopped logic, which means that everything you're saying, it's not making sense. Your logic is chopped up. What is this? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud. Saying you're contradicting yourself. How can you be proud but not proud? How can you say these? How can you say you're proud and that you thank me, but also that you don't thank me and you're not proud? Mistress Minion you, and it's a question. Mistress Minion meaning spoiled child. Thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints against Thursday next to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church. Fettle mean prepare your fine joints against for Thursday next to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. A hurdle is a sledge that you'd use to draw traitors through the streets to execution. Out, an expression of disgust and impatience. You green sickness carrion. Carrion is, of course, dead flesh. So you are green with sickness. You are, so out with you. I'm disgusted. I'm impatient with you. You are like a dead body, green and sick. Out, you baggage, you tallow face. Capulet's wife says, Fie, what, are you mad? So we should have a very quick turn here. And this Capulet takes a little bit of acting, because he comes in and says, oh, why are you crying? Stop crying, you're like a boat. And then says, oh, the wife says, nope, she will have none, she gives you thanks. And then he's to be confused, soft, take me with you, wife, take me with you, wife, how will she none? Then when Juliet says her thing, thankful, even for hate, that is meant love. How, chopped logic, what is this proud? And I thank you not, and yet not proud, Mistress Minion, you. This part here, he has to be mad. Fie, what are you mad? Good father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word. Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch. He's in a complete 180. Thus far, throughout Romeo and Juliet, we've seen a lot more of Capulet than we have of Montague. And he's always been a pretty chill dude. Yeah, he wanted to fight in the first scene. From that point on, he's always been pretty cool. You go, hey, Paris, talk to Juliet before you marry her. When Romeo shows up at the party, he says, don't fight. Don't start a fight here. And he kicks Tybalt out. Right? He's still just trying to say, hey, you know what? We should be very responsible. People are going to think that we didn't care about Tybalt if we have too big of a celebration. So let's keep the party low-key. And now he just kind of snaps. He says, hang thee. Literally, hang her, like from a hangman's noose. Young baggage, disobedient wretch, I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday, or never after look me in the face. You got to go to church to get married, or you'll never see me again. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child. But now I see this one is one too much. We consider ourselves blessed that we had a child, but this one is one too many. And that we have a curse in having her. Out on her Hilding, and a Hilding is a hussy. He is furious at her, and it's up to Capulet the actor to make this 180 believable and real. And why is he acting this way? Well, that's a great question. Something that you might have to address in your English class, or in your book club, or just on your own. I'm not here to do your analysis for you. I'm here to help you understand the text. Nurse, God in heaven bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so to berate her. And why, my lady wisdom? Hold your tongue, good prudence. Smatter with your gossips. Go. Smatter means chatter, and your gossips are people who are also gossiping. So smatter with your gossips. Go. I speak no treason, no betrayal. Oh, God gie good e'en. And God gie good e'en as God give good evening, which is a, here it says for God's sake, but it could also be leave. Like, good evening. You are gone. You are done. Because remember, the nurse is a servant. So her to speak up like this is a little daring. May not one speak? Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity or a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not. Your gravity is these grave words that you're speaking, your wisdom, over a gossip's bowl, which is a bowl that you drink over. You get wine and you gossip. So say your words there. Here we don't need it. You are too hot, being irascible, rash. also calls to mind Act 3, Scene 1, where when you're hot, you're impassioned. You are too hot. And so Capulet's wife gangs up. So all the ladies are like, dude, you are freaking out. You're acting so unreasonable. God's bread, it makes me mad. And God's bread is communion. It's the Eucharist. So it's no different than Mary or Zunes or all these things. God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide the tides. Time, work, play, alone, in company. So these are all various ways of spending your time, of measuring time. Still, my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, a fair Demosthenes, youthful and nobly lined, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched, puling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. You gotta pause there. I had to finish the line. Here he lets us know why he's mad. It says that in all hours of the day, his care, the thing he's cared about, his business, is to have her matched with a man. And he says, now I've provided someone. He's noble. He has fair Demosthenes, fair estates. He's youthful, he's nobly lined, meaning that he comes from a noble line, so he is of a noble house. This is a good marriage, because remember, marrying for love, pretty recent invention. Noble houses would marry for alliances and for nobility and for these types of things. So he has that. He's stuffed, as I say, with honorable parts, with honorable qualities. And his proportion is one would wish a man, meaning he's handsome. His proportions, how he is all arrayed symmetrically, is exactly how you would wish a man. And then he says, and then to have a wretched, puling fool, this is Juliet, a whining mammet, her as a puppet, and her fortune's tender. So when she has her tender fortune, when she has her fortune read to her that you'll marry Paris, she's a whining puppet. To answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But an you will not wed, I'll pardon you, I'll excuse you to leave. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Meaning I'm going to kick you out of the house. So I will pardon you. I'll pardon you, give you the excuse to leave, and you can graze. Cows graze. So you can go out into the fields and eat grass there. You shall not house with me. You shall not live with me. Look to it. Think on it. I do not use to jest. I'm not customarily a joker, so I'm not joking. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, which means ascertain your feelings. Check your heart. You're going to get your heartbeat. Lay hand on heart. Figure out how you're feeling. Advise. Consider, and you be mine. I'll give you to my friend, Paris, and you be not, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. These are all the things that she can do, and he won't care. He says, for by my soul I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. So you're not getting any inheritance. My house will not help you if you disobey me here. Trust to it. You can trust in this. But think you, I'll not be forsworn. So think on this. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to forswear. I'm not going to undo what I have sworn here. And he exits. Which is, Juliet could probably be just stunned by this. I'm a little stunned reading all this. Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies. So either delay this marriage or make my marriage bed in the tomb. All right, or else I'm dead. And Capulet's wife, remember, she's like 25, 26. Probably a lot younger than Capulet. Not a great mother. Maybe not the bravest of women. So she's not the one to stand up to so angry of a man. Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee. So she's going to side with her husband and abandon her daughter when her daughter really needs her. And it's really tragic how Capulet and Lady Capulet treat Juliet. And I bet they'll be going over this conversation a lot in their heads once Juliet is dead. They'll really be regretting it. And it's really sad because if they had just listened to her, then maybe this could have all worked out. So now it's only Juliet and the nurse. She says, oh God, oh nurse, how shall this be prevented, my marriage? My husband is on earth. My faith in heaven, which means that when my faith is in heaven, it means that my marriage vows are in heaven. We have gotten married in God's church. It's not just a civil union where we can just divorce. They're Catholics who believe you're married for life. You can't undo that. And they've consummated it, which means that it's a done deal. They cannot annul it. An annulment is where you can say, oh, we were never actually married in the first place because we did not properly complete the rite for whatever reason. If you never consummate the marriage, or if a person was not in their right mind when they got married, these types of things. But they can't do that. Her husband's on earth and her faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth unless that husband send it me from heaven by leaving earth? Remember, till death do us part. Death is the only thing that will break up a marriage. Once your spouse dies, then you can get married again. Why? Because the faith has returned from heaven by the husband who has gone to heaven, died, and sent it back to earth. Comfort me. Counsel me, she's begging the nurse. Alack, alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. Heaven, this could be like, why is God letting this happen? He's practicing such, should engage upon such stratagems, things happening upon so soft a subject as myself. What sayest thou? This is the nurse. Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse, she's begging. The only adult left in her life, aside from maybe the friar, but that's more Romeo's guy for help. Because keep in mind, Juliet's 14. Get married or leave us forever and we deny you and you're no longer our daughter. And they mean it. And she's 14. Poor girl. And the nurse, she's going to step up. We love the nurse. Faith, here it is. Here's the comfort. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing, and it's a sure bet that he dares ne'er come back to challenge you, to claim you. Or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. So if he's going to come back to get you, he has to do it stealthily. Then, since the case so stands, as now it doth, since things are the way that it is now, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dishclout to him, a dishcloth. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Eagles are known for their eyes, right? If you have an eagle eye, you can see things really well. So he's saying he's got great eyes, right? Beshrew my very heart, which is curse my very heart. I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first. It's better than your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead. Romeo is dead. Or 'twere as good he were as living here and you no use of him. So right the moment when Juliet needs this comfort, the comfort that the nurse offers is, I think you get married to Paris. He's better than Romeo. I think you can be happy in this, which happy can be fortunate that it's working out the way it is. It's all around a better deal. I think you take the deal, girl. And Juliet asks, speakest thou from thy heart? The nurse says, and from my soul too. Else, beshrew them both, curse them both. Amen, says Juliet. And the nurse says, what? Juliet says, well, thou hast comforted me marvelous much. Go in and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father to Lawrence's cell to make confession and to be absolved. Okay, you have comforted me marvelous much. The words you have said has comforted me. Go and tell my lady, my mother, that I went to Friar Lawrence's cell because I displeased my father, which is a sin. So I'm going to go confess, and I'm going to be absolved and be forgiven of my sin. And the nurse says, Mary, I will. And this is wisely done. And she leaves. Juliet was lying, as she's now going to point out. She says, ancient damnation, which means damnable old woman. Ancient, because she is old. Damnation, because she is damnable. Oh, most wicked fiend. Juliet's really mad at the nurse. So she just put a little bit of good acting there. To consider her a fiend, to consider her a damnable person. Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn? Or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with, above compare so many thousand times? So she's wondering, what's more of a sin? For me to forswear, go back on the things that I swore, which is to be Romeo's wife. It would be a sin for her to get married again. Also, heaven wouldn't recognize it because she only have one husband. So she'd be doing a sin. Is it more of a sin for me to be forsworn, or to dispraise my Lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with, above compare so many times? Or would it be a sin for my tongue, the tongue that has often praised my Lord Romeo, to dispraise him by doing this? Which one's worse? To go back on my vows or to betray Romeo? Go, counselor, and that's two. She's now saying this to the nurse who was left. Go, counselor, the one who's given me counsel. Thou and my bosom, my heart, henceforth shall be twain, divided. So, Juliet is broken from the nurse. She needed the nurse, and the nurse did not give her the answer that she wanted or comfort her in the way that maybe she needed. Who's to say? The nurse is trying her best. But from now on, the nurse, who we love the nurse, and her bosom, her heart, are going to be twain. She's going to go to the friar, though. She says, out to the friar to know his remedy, to know how he can fix this. If all else fail, myself have power to die, and everything else, she's going to kill herself. And so we leave Act 3 on a pretty bad note. Juliet has been abandoned by every adult except for the friar, who could help her out of this. And if the friar doesn't have a solution, she's going to kill herself. Things have turned very quickly from the beginning of this scene that started with her husband, who she didn't want to leave. And so that's where we leave off with Act 3. We're going to pick up next time in Act 4, and we'll see you then.